Hey everyone, welcome back to the Castaway Consultants, where we teach future Survivor players how to play the game by criticizing current players, sometimes heavily. I'm one of your three wonderful co-hosts, Ryan Stacy, and I'm joined today by Josh Kubicek and Derek Wessler. I'm just kidding. I felt like mixing them up. Josh Wessler and Derek Kubicek. How you guys doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm pretty good. We're talking about episode 6, Doing the Damn Thing, which is our merge episode. It's the merge. Like they're all living on the same beach. One person was immune. This is a merge.
Okay, they didn't call it earn the merge. I don't think it was earn a feast. I think this is a phase out. It felt like a phase out, which I enjoy. I was glad that this time it was. Yeah, we're merging.
I think they did this last season too. It was basically the same thing, but yeah, this is just a merge with extra steps.
Yeah, last season was the first time that we had this new format, which I really like, just because it's a merge. So, you don't have half the tribe that's immune, and they kept that exact same format. I don't think they changed anything this season compared to last season. I think you're right, though, that they dropped a lot of the, any vocabulary or terminology around, hey, let's call this something different to be, interesting. I think they're starting to move away from it.
Yeah, but they still said oh, this isn't the merge. You got to earn the merge tribe. It's already did, Jeff.
Technically, you have to earn it. You also have to earn it in every episode of the pre-merge.
Yep.
So,
but they did earn it. That they're here now.
What I'll say, the person who was voted out tonight, before we get into spoilers, is not on the jury. So it feels like they're not going to give a merge buff to someone who does not make the jury.
Well,
and I think that is... I think that's the delineating factor here.
If we keep the pattern going, what's going to happen in the next episodes, we're going to get split in half. One person, two tribal councils, 2 groups of 6. First person's not going to make the jury. The second person will. That's what we've done the last 4 seasons. 3
they
seasons.
didn't tease any of that, though.
Right.
We didn't get a tease, but that's what they've been doing.
Yep.
So we'll see if they stray from the formula at this point.
Hey, we can only take her one episode at a time.
Yeah.
And this was basically a merge, and
it's just a merge.
And they dropped the weird vocabulary.
It is just a merge.
There's no merge feast for everybody. That's why I say basically.
But that same thing happened in Guatemala.
You're right.
The same thing happened in Game Changers. Not everyone gets the merge. This is just a merge.
It's just a merge.
It's just a
merge. We're on one beach.
I got a new twist for you guys. So everyone's going to come together and live on the same beach, and there will be food as an option, and one person's going to win immunity, and then they're all going to go vote somebody out. It's a brand new twist.
But no buffs.
But no buffs. That's the twist. No buffs.
We're all naked.
Dumb. Whatever. It's still a fun episode. Yeah, besides this dumb BS that, whatever, we're used to at this point. This was a fun episode because let's jump into spoilers.
Let's do spoilers. Let's do spoilers. 3, 2, go watch it.
Okay, this is kind of a race to the bottom episode. It's man, we have 2 people who nobody likes. Who sucks more? We'll get rid of that one, basically. And it was just really taking 2 people who have not had great edits with Say and Charity and just dunking on them. Man, which one should we get rid of?
So wait, Ryan, you're saying that we needed 2 imprecision drivers?
2 imprecision survivor players.
Oh, we got that.
We got that.
In hindsight, this should have been extremely obvious. We at the end of each of our podcast episodes, we predict, who's going to go next? Everyone probably should have been saying Charity, just because she, I feel like, has gotten maybe the next, I don't know, negative edit is the way to say it, but just kind of a nothing edit, not to the extent of Star, but Charity is out there as someone that's I don't think they can win the game just because edit. I didn't think that this was Say's time to go, so what's the next best thing? Charity. It just made too much sense going into Tribal Council, and it should have just been really obvious the entire time.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious that this was going to happen just because it made too much sense.
I was caught between Say and Charity, and they're going to keep red herring Say into my brain that she's going next. I don't mind continuing to be fooled. This isn't like a Bruce and Katura situation. If I was in the game, I wouldn't be dead set focused on Say going home. But as a viewer, man, she is so easy to not root for. Again, I'm sure lovely person in real life, but it is so easy to not root for her on this show. So even though Charity won the race to the bottom, it was deadlocked.
She did not get voted out because she was less fun to be around. I'll put it that way. there was more strategic reasons for voting for her out instead of social reasons. Boy, oh boy, Say is... say what you will about Say, but she's not very good at Survivor. She's pretty bad.
She's getting a little bit of a 0 vote finalist goat at it. So
I hope not.
You know,
I feel like she's doing good enough to where she's not going to make it there because they'll see that as just a potential of well, what if people, see her game in a specific way, you take that wild card out and let's just get rid of her.
She's giving off major Nora energy for me.
Yeah, we'll see if she goes into Abby Maria territory where she's just too miserable to be around and gets knocked out. We'll see if she gets to that level. If you do.
She doesn't seem like a miserable person to be around, just a miserable person to try to play the game with.
Sure.
That makes sense.
Well, should we get into the episode proper?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to get back from the previous tribal council, and immediately Say does not want to talk to Cedric because she's like, you betrayed me again. And Cedric's like, no, I saved your bacon.
You're welcome.
And hear us out, Say. And basically so what we're told is this Bianca giving Cedric the information that she didn't have a vote happened 5 minutes before they left for tribal council. And what happens was when they're told to leave for tribal council, they're kind of put in lockdown. They're not allowed to talk to each other. And we can thank Tina Wesson for that one.
Yep.
All the way back in season 2. They're not allowed to talk to each other. So there's a point where it's like, nope, we're done. You're going to tribal. And so Cedric only had time to get to Chrissy, tell her, hey, we got to vote out Bianca. So Mitch and Say never got the intel. And so back at camp, they're told this. So everyone seems to make peace after that, after the explanation. But yeah, Say just being like, no, I don't want to talk to you, Cedric, was pretty funny, but also bad.
And it does bother me. I get that you only have so much time before you go to tribal council. And I think that he actually made a good choice in talking to Chrissy instead of talking to Say, just because you have to work to try to flip Chrissy and make her feel good enough. And I don't know how you do that in 5 minutes, because this could just be, a giant smoke screen and Chrissy could just see it as being like, oh no, they're just trying to, get my vote in a bad direction so that it's a wasted vote. And then, me or Mitch goes out, or, who knows? But the thing that I didn't like about this is that why didn't Cedric just try to signal something at tribal council to Say, just to try to get something out there? It doesn't have to be, hey, live tribal, I need to pull Say to the side and have a conversation with her. But it could be, a tap on the shoulder, a whisper in the ear, anything. And it would have been better than this.
I think Cedric's just not very good at Survivor.
How dare you?
And because I was focusing on the episode that was in front of me at the time, I didn't get a chance to think about this in detail. And it's last week's stuff, right? If you're Cedric and you try to signal something at tribal, and let's say that this ranges from, surreptitiously letting Say no, we're voting for Bianca, to just coming out with it. Bianca told me she doesn't have a vote. Let's say Bianca catches wind of that and she lied to Cedric and she does have a vote and an advantage. That could turn on Cedric and Say really quickly. That's why I think he kept it quiet, because you never know if Bianca's telling the truth. And this way, okay, if you think you can shift the vote onto her without making her the wiser, that would be the best way to do it. So I'm keeping Cedric as like my best player of last week, even in hindsight. It's just, he's not a great Survivor player.
No, not at all.
But by the way, Say, come on, you got to relax. Like, seriously, you're biting every single hand that feeds you.
Perfect person to take to the end.
Perfect person.
So, merge time. So we're going to check in a little bit with everybody as we're merging. Chrissy basically tells us she really wants to work with Cedric. She likes Cedric a lot, but she's trying to convince him to drop Say. Like, hey, she's going to tank your game if you don't cut her soon. Yeah, that's fair.
And I feel validated because I think it was in last week's episode, I said, I'm really curious to see what Chrissy, Mitch, and Cedric can do as a trio with Say as sort of a tag along moving into the merge. Cedric and Chrissy, I feel like I understand Midwestern culture enough to be like, Chrissy, I know you. I get you. You're a straight shooter. You're not going to be deceptive. And Cedric gives off those vibes too. That's why I think Chrissy was able to trust him so quickly. You just have a sense about some people. I'm interested to see what that trio can do. They're all still here.
Say is very excited to work with Mary because she believes they patched things up before the tribe swap. And Mary's just like, oh no, not you. You're back. Oh no.
Which is so interesting because it's not like they had a lot of time. We had tribal council where Cedric is basically like, hey, you two, be nice to each other. We're gonna be a group of three going forward. Bye, Justin. And Q then tribe swap. We had one night essentially of them bonding, which we did not see. So I don't like this kind of just came out of nowhere. I don't know how real it could even be.
Unreliable narrator and say. There, I'll say it. The tribe is told community challenge there's only gonna be one winner, and there's an advantage to help you be that winner. Go. And Say is going to be the one to get it.
Woo!
It came down to a race between Say and Charity, who they both needed it.
It was a race to the
bottom for the advantage. But Say's going to get the advantage to help her out in the immunity challenge. And possibly my favorite moment of the episode, David and Joe are going to bond because they both drink about a gallon of whole milk every day, or chocolate milk every day. The milkmen are here.
And Eva with, probably the best question is just like logistically, how? How do you have room in your fridge for this habit?
Well, you see, Josh, unlike the three of us sitting on this podcast, some people actually have physiques to maintain. And whole milk helps you with that.
You just have a 2-gallon rotation and you have a store close to you and you refill it every 2 days.
Anyone can bond over anything.
If anyone remembers the Schwann's truck, which would do like ice cream and milk and stuff, I was just like, stop looking at me, Schwann. Because you'd be getting judged for delivering all this milk to this person. Stop looking at me, Schwann.
The Schwann's ice cream cups, elite.
I'll take your word for it. I don't think I ever had those. But this they need to call their alliance the Milkmen if they become a duo, because
we had the California Girls and now we have the Milkmen.
The Whole Milk Alliance.
So we're gonna get a brand new alliance though. And they don't have a name yet, but for now let's just call the Honesty Alliance, because they all want to play the game with like honesty and integrity.
Integrity.
The Integrity Alliance. So we have Joe and Eva and Shaheen, and they like David and Kyle. So we got a group of 5 here, and they are all telling each other like we're big, we're strong, we're tough. Let's not get backstabbed. Let's take out all these schemers, and we'll be the final 5. Which is great if you're like any of these people, and especially if you are the schemiest one of those 5. You could really use that to your advantage. So Kyle, I think, is set up nicely here if this group is going to stick together for a bit. Kyle can really do some damage here because he's got a side thing going on with Camilla, the most hidden alliance in the game. They could do some absolute damage under the guise of this Honesty Alliance.
That was the interesting part to me is last episode, we got that foursome, which I think we were all gushing over, of Joe, Shaheen, and then Kyle and Camilla. But now Camilla is not a part of this Integrity Alliance. How is that going to end up working in the end? Are they going to be able to kind of have her come along, but have it not be super obvious to them as far as, an under the radar duo threat? That's just going to be interesting to see.
If they're editing it with honesty and integrity, my assumption is the 4 that aren't Kyle are sort of letting Kyle drive how much we are bringing Camilla in to the fold. And if Kyle says, we're not really that close, marriage of convenience, he might be able to set that tone, especially if he can strike up that social bond better than she can and more quickly than she did. So we'll see if they actually do stay at arm's length while still, winking at each other. I'm excited to see what they can do, even if Kyle's a lawyer and I don't want a lawyer to win the game.
It's a very likable lawyer, though.
Well, we've had likable lawyers lately. They're figuring it out. The lawyers have become self-aware.
They become sentient.
Yeah, pretty soon they're going to learn how to open doors.
Oh no, the lawyers are going to learn how to open doors.
Clever.
We're going to need Chris Pratt to come in and train them.
Clever girl.
We can weaponize them.
We can weaponize the lawyers and turn them into weapons of war.
And then they're going to bite Vincent D'Onofrio's hand.
Yep.
He never did like the lawyers.
Yeah,
and
he
was
was a cop on Law and Order, so this all tracks.
Anyone who's following this through line, I commend you. This is weird. Anyway.
But yeah, word gets out that Eva has Star's idol. And we also learned from Kyle that he doesn't fully trust Shaheen. He thinks Shaheen's a little sneaky. So I wonder if Kyle will take out Shaheen at some point. That is kind of teased next time on Survivor. Is Camilla is saying like, oh, we're gonna frame Shaheen for something. That's the tease for next week.
Yeah, I think the tease is like either Kyle is going to want to take out Shaheen, or maybe this is like a plant for Shaheen getting one over on some people later on down the road. Like, oh, the seeds were planted. He was sneaky. He was devious. So it could be his downfall. It could be his succession or his ascension. Most likely downfall, though.
Yep. Charity, Mitch, and Camilla, they're all going to talk. They want to try and keep Siva strong. I don't think Camilla buys into this, but, she can be part of the conversation. And they want Say to be the target, because who is going to stick their neck out to save Say?
Fair.
Not a bad pitch. Charity is going to start scheming and plotting and try and get Star to be like, go get the idol back from Eva. Yeah, just go get it. Star's like, no, and immediately rats Charity out to Eva and Joe. Goodbye, Charity.
Love it.
I think
Love
at this
it.
point is when I'm like, yep, Charity's going.
And I want to take a second to talk about Star, because so far this season, it's been pretty purple Star. Like, she pops up every now and again because she found the Beware advantage, and that was basically her forcing production to edit her in. She is funny.
You could say she was the star of the episode.
Hashtag star player. She is genuinely funny, and I am actually pretty pissed off that we haven't seen or heard much from her until now.
I wonder if it's a case of she just takes a little bit to come out of her shell.
It could be. That happens sometimes with new people in front of a camera, but she is really funny. Star, big fan of the podcast. I just want you to say I have fallen in love with your screen presence as of this episode, so thank you.
I almost died from laughter. Fun fact, I bruised my rib earlier today, so I'm in a little bit of pain. So I was watching Survivor, and when Star goes up to vote, she drops the marker. She's dancing her way up to vote, and then she almost yeets the marker off the island. And I was so unexpected, because I thought the bit was like they had gotten the music in time to her dance, and then they throw in this marker toss, and I laughed so hard I think it made my rib hurt even worse. So thank you, Star, for making me laugh so much I'm in pain.
Yes, and I'm fully rooting for Star now. So you know what? Do I think she can win? We'll see, but I'm rooting for her.
This could be the Rising Star edit.
Yeah.
She had a really great night tonight, I thought.
A star is born.
Yes. So we're going to go to the immunity challenge, and there's going to be 2 teams of 6, and the winning team of 6 will get the merge feast and get a shot at winning individual immunity. There's 13 people here, so Say's advantage is she gets to skip the challenge, go straight to the merge feast and the individual immunity shot at winning, which is solid advantage. Not bad.
Good enough for the feast alone.
Yep. So Cedric blows this challenge for his team because he has a really hard time getting up the wacky wall or whatever it's called, the warped wall. I think it's a warped wall in American Ninja Warrior.
It's a wacky wall now, though.
Whatever it's called.
So yeah, we're running up the wacky wall. The quarter pipe.
The quarter pipe, yeah. So David, Camilla, Star, Kyle, Mary, and Chrissy all win the merge feast and get a shot at immunity alongside Say, but Kyle is going to end up winning immunity. So on reward, the names that get thrown out are Star's going to throw out Charity's name first, but we're also going to get Eva and Mitch thrown out because they both have advantages that everyone knows about. But really, it is going to come down to people deciding between Charity and Say. Nobody really likes either of them, except Mitch gets along really well with Charity. Both of them are super easy votes. No one wants to rock the boat too hard. And then voting out someone like Charity would make Siva go down a number because they're 6 strong at this point. So taking her out would make Siva lose a number, which, if you're on Siva, maybe you want to try and keep her, but at the same time, that can put a big target on your back. So maybe it is smarter to just let her go, especially if you don't trust her. If you're someone like David who really does not like or trust Charity, you might be better off just letting her go.
We've been advising, particularly in New Era Survivor, if you are a fully intact tribe coming into a merge situation, even if you're at 5 and there's a grouping of 4 and there's one on the outside and the others are like, hey, you have too many people. If you're too unwilling, they'll be like, oh, dangerous. And then they will pagong you into oblivion.
The Green Tribe in 45 or 46.
Yeah,
example.
Maria, Charlie, and
Ben, Mariah, and Tim.
Tim was the one I was thinking of.
And, they were a little hesitant about getting rid of Mariah. And so she had to go.
Yep.
Yeah, at some point you need a sacrificial lamb.
You need a sacrificial lamb.
Who are you the least close with? It's fine. You don't need all these people. You can shed one and you will be fine.
Your alliance should be like an onion. It has layers. Take out the last layer. Yeah, so that would be, I think, our general advice to continuing is if you go into the merge 5 or 6 strong and people start wanting you to cut somebody, you got to be willing to, especially if you don't have. So in this case, there's 13 people. You only have 6. It's not enough. It might be different if it's an 11-person merge and you have a tribe of 6 and you're all tight. That's a different story. But if you're not like this fully cohesive unit and like having the majority, then you just got to let somebody go and work from there.
I want to do a little consulting here also, because we're talking about it's say or charity. No one wants to stick out their neck for them. There is a world where Old Loggy and Vula go to charity and say, hey, you know they're willing to vote you out. Come with us and vote out the strongest person on Siva, someone who you didn't get along with, and let them pick. The problem with that in this particular situation is Charity is very Siva strong, and she gives off Siva strong energy while all of Siva kind of hating her.
Yep.
So this is not the time to try and, be coach and bring Cochran into the fold.
Nope.
It's not going to work.
Nope. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to get is just a lot of people talking about like the pros and cons of getting rid of Say versus Charity. Like, for example, Say will not shut up about how great the food was at the Merge Feast, which is hilarious.
Oh, Say.
We're also getting a bit of emotional breakdown from Cedric because he feels responsible for losing the Merge Feast for his tribe, which is fair. But we're going to get a really nice pep talk from Star to him. Star kind of really pops up and really is there for him. And it's a really sweet moment. Like I said, Star has a great episode. This is one of those reasons.
Ryan, do you mind if I go grab a drink of water really quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you.
No, you can't have any water on a talking.
No water.
You must suffer.
Got a new case today. I was at the grocery store earlier. Making white chicken chili on Monday.
Ooh. I can
Gonna
go
be
for some chili.
Good. Dude, I make mean chili. There's two things I know how to make. It's chili and chili.
What are you
I can make regular red chili and I can make white chili.
What goes in it?
Chicken, beans, spices, cheese. But my other one is the sweet shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
No. It's the sweet chili with cocktail sauce. It is so good. It is a sweet chili and it is delicious. Trust me. It's my grandma's recipe.
I am not a big fan of white chili, to be perfectly honest. It's better if you use chicken thighs, but like if it's chicken breast, I have kind of a problem with that. It gets a little bit dry and it's a little bland. So
not mine.
I disagree. I disagree.
You've not had mine.
Let me have the world's smallest bowl of the white chili that you make, and I'll let you know if it actually has flavor.
It does.
I don't believe you.
My mom's recipe. This one might be my grandma's. I don't know. The cocktail sauce one's my grandma's. I don't know if this one is my mom's or my grandma's. But anyway, it's delicious.
Well, I believe you for you, but I'm going to still say it has no flavor until I try it.
We got to remember I have the best taste of the three of us.
Yes, of course you do. It's Josh and it's not close.
What?
Yes. Yeah, when it comes to the matters of taste, Josh has the best of the three of us.
In terms of food?
Yes.
No.
Wow. Thank you.
No. No.
None of this is making the episode.
No, it's not.
What would be really funny is you snip it out and put it like blooper reel at the end. Just talking about white chili.
Maybe I will keep it all in.
No.
Maybe I will
Cut
keep it. No, why?
I don't know. I don't care.
We could have the listeners. This is a great idea. So for Spotify this week, Derek likes to throw out a question. What are your thoughts on white chili? What's your favorite kind of chili? Is sweet chili good? I want your thoughts on chili.
I love that for a question to the listeners because I didn't have much of a gameplay question here. Again, because we were talking about the least favorite people getting voted out at the merge.
It doesn't always have to be a gameplay question. Sometimes if we have
we literally just talked about milk last week.
Yeah, look, I love this. I'm learning more. I'm gathering data on people's tastes.
Also, like the whole milk conversation and oatmeal. Thank you, listeners, because
good feedback.
I was saying that oatmeal is trash, and you guys disagreed, and there were a lot of listeners that agreed with me.
Yep. There was, I think, the consensus from the listeners is that oatmeal sucks. Well, listeners, you're wrong.
And it's hardly a consensus. There are plenty of listeners who liked oatmeal. What I learned is that oatmeal is incredibly polarizing.
Yes, that's very true.
There is no middle ground on oatmeal.
But yeah, let's get it. Let's bring in chili into the conversation now that we're here. Tell me share some chili recipes. Look, dude, I like food. I'm always interested in a new crock pot recipe. So yeah, throw out some chili recipes.
And apologies for wasting your time.
No, this is fine. Food is good.
Especially if we throw it after the episode proper and it's more of like a blooper reel. I think this would be great at the end.
No, I'm going to leave it in the middle. And Derek's going to randomly ask for some water, and then we're going to go off on a tangent about chili. And people are going to be like, this is great. Or they're going to be like, can we get back to Survivor, please? And either way,
unsubscribe, 1 star.
They are going to have a response. So let's chili it up.
We've been given 1 stars for dumber reasons. I'll be honest.
True. No, this is great. I'm keeping all this in.
This is real.
This is real. This is
what happens when Ryan's your editor, guys.
No, he's usually very, very tight.
No, I'm like a butcher when it comes to editing. Snip. I'm cutting everything. But sometimes the random tangents are gold. I love a good tangent. And this is one of them.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks. Should we talk about Survivor?
Yes, we're back to Survivor. For the love of Star.
Last thing before Tribal Council, what I thought was really funny is Joe is going to go to Mary and just get the lowdown on the Say situation. Like, what's up with her? Are you close to her? Mary's like, no, do not trust her. Don't play with her. She's a mess.
I wanted to bring this up earlier because we were talking about how the last time Vula really interacted was Cedric sending Justin, Justin shuffling off his Survivor coil and basically issuing an ultimatum that Mary and Say need to get along. Lest we forget that by no power of Cedric or anybody on Vula is Mary still here. Mary is here by the graces of the Survivor gods. She didn't agree to work with Say. No. So okay, cool. You guys ended up doing absolutely nothing for me with our so-called newfound alliance. I don't want to work with
arguing on
Say.
the mats. Do we not remember that?
Yep,
before the challenge?
You can use a little more graciousness in your win, and then Say gets the advantage where she finds out she gets to have the merge feast no matter what, and she cheers. You can have a little bit more graciousness, Say.
Yeah, she needs to be not such a sore winner.
All right, we're going to go to Tribal Council. It's going to be 7 votes for Charity, 5 votes for Say, 1 vote for Cedric. But I think what generally it was just a split vote. And basically everybody was in on it, besides obviously Charity. Mitch, who's blindsided, his closest ally, goes home. And then Say votes for Cedric. Why?
I didn't see that.
Wouldn't it have been hilarious if Say went home because she voted for Cedric instead of Charity or something like that? That would have been great. But yeah, Say throws her vote on Cedric. And even if this is just in case of a shot in the dark kind of thing, pick somebody else. You have a weird but working relationship with Cedric. Pick someone else.
Well, and also you are receiving votes. This isn't going to be a 12-1 vote. It's just not going to be that way. So having a hinky vote just for shot in the dark, I think is worthless in this vote. Protect yourself.
Yep. I agree.
This feels like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm throwing my vote on Cedric because I don't trust him.
Yeah, this feels a little bit like a spite vote.
Yeah. Which, again, imagine being spiteful at the person who literally saved your game life.
Unbelievable.
Twice.
And what's wild, because of Say's behavior, I still think Cedric did what was best for him because he maintained a relationship with Chrissy and whatever. But there is a world where you let Say go home and he votes for Say right away because Bianca asked him to. And now he's got a working relationship with Lagi and he's got a working relationship with Siva. And he has some options.
And doesn't have this Say anchor weighing him down.
Now, I still think that getting rid of a competent player like Bianca might be better on the whole, but
there's an argument.
There's an argument to be made because Say is taking this entirely the wrong way.
So I think getting rid of Charity is probably the right move because it gets rid of one of the Sega 6. The people who were in on it from Sega, everybody but Mitch, they get to lower their threat level. Basically, this is good for everybody. And getting rid of Say is It doesn't super help anybody besides you get to move on to the next round. You know, she's kind of chaos and annoying, but like she's not that big a deal. Where I think getting rid of Charity helps almost everybody, save Mitch. So I think this is the right move. What about you guys?
Say is getting a little bit of the Venus treatment. Just to go back, I believe, was it last season or 2 seasons ago with Venus? So yeah, she's loud, she's obnoxious as far as like trying to play with her, but ultimately she doesn't have a lot of power in this game. She's not really a threat to anybody right now. To me, I'm trusting the players because it felt like even though there were 7 on one and 5 on the other, this felt like a coordinated effort to say like, yeah, Charity is the primary, but if something weird happens, 5 votes and Say is going home. If 12 people are coordinating that one of these 2 are going home, my guess is everybody's okay with either of them and are also okay with burning the other bridge. So I will side with the players and say that I agree that Charity is a perfectly fine move here.
I think Charity's the right move. You said everything basically that I wanted to say, so I'm not going to go into any more of it. But the one thing I did want to ask is, Mitch didn't play his advantage, right?
Correct.
Do you think he should have?
Probably. If everyone knows about it, I think you might as well just block Say's vote, just to keep that way she doesn't play a shot in the dark. So yeah, I think Mitch probably should have played it.
Because there's a world where he might have been able to save Charity. Probably not, but maybe.
There's a little bit of confusion in the edit about who understands the existence of Mitch's block a vote. Because early in the episode, he said that it was secret, and then Say brought it up at the Merge Feast reward. Okay, so if everybody knows...
Feels like everyone knows now.
Then probably use it to get the target off of your back. Then again, you know, if it's a sinking ship with Charity, maybe don't burn it to try and save her.
But it seems like he didn't know.
And that's exactly it. Like, because he didn't know, that's why he didn't play anything. Because, like...
He thought it was a slam dunk for Say.
Yeah, he had no idea.
So now he knows. What did social media say? Did they agree with the vote? I'm guessing they're going to say no. They want Say gone. That's my guess.
I'm going to say that, yes, the right person went home. Like, per social media.
Well, per social media, about 65% of people said yes. The right person went home.
Oh, okay. Good for them. They got it right. All right, let's get into best and worst player of the episode. I'll kick us off this time. My best player is Kyle. I thought he had a slam dunk episode. He got into this honesty integrity alliance, but he's keeping his relationship with Camilla secret, which could be extremely powerful. He won immunity. Taking out Charity gets the target off his group's back. So I like this all around for Kyle.
The exact same person and shorter notes, but the exact same points. I have Kyle.
I also had Kyle. I did like just kind of one extra note there. I did like that we saw the extra conversation between him and Camilla, and it wasn't just, hey, Camilla's not anywhere to be seen because there's this new integrity alliance that's going on. So that was good to see that there's a lot of connections that he has made.
I want to throw honorable mentions out to the Unmeet Shield Alliance. I know we're calling it Honor and Integrity, but I kind of like the idea of the meat swing lunkheads being like,
the meat swing?
No more. We are not your merge vote fodder any longer. We will see you in the top 7, you pricks.
I'd love to see them go the distance. I really would. That'd be fun.
Also, honorable mention to Star as well.
Yeah. I agree. Star is also my honorable mention.
I love how in reference to the most muscular people on the season, you said Go the Distance, and that's a song from Hercules.
Yes.
So whether that was intentional or not, bravo to you, sir.
Let's get into worst player of the episode. Derek, who is worst?
I'm going to give it to Say again. And at this point, she's just monopolizing the spot because there were plenty of people who you could throw shade at. The fact that Mitch allegedly has a pretty good bond with Chrissy and Cedric and still didn't know that Charity was the target speaks volumes about how much people are willing to bring him in on things that they think he might be a little bit against. That's not great. That also means that he's probably a little bit on the outs with Kyle and Camilla, who he was good with before Siva split up. But Say is actively biting every single hand that is trying to feed her. Here's an olive branch. Torch. Here's something nice. Loser. Like... It is so easy to root against her, and she finds a way to do something new almost every episode. I've given her props where she deserved it, but this is another episode where she deserves no props. So I know, Say, big fan of the podcast, I'm sorry, but you lose again.
I'm not sorry.
You lose.
You
Good
lose.
Day.
Good.
Josh, who's your worst?
Yeah, it's Say.
Yeah,
Nothing to add except, I'll add maybe like question mark next to, I'm so excited to be back on the same beach as Mary. Like, what? What? Okay.
I guess that's the right attitude to have, but okay.
Yeah, but you have for Mary. Mary had her head like Say was dunking Mary's head in the toilet, and then Cedric, the teacher, came in and said, "Hey, you two have to learn to get along." And Mary's like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean we?"
Yeah, it's Say. Terrible social game, lashed out at people, and voting for Cedric was stupid. All right. Who's going next, guys? We don't have it confirmed that there's going to be 2 people going next week, so we'll just do one. Who is the next person going out of this game? Josh, kick us off.
I hate to do it, but I'm going to go Say. I feel like it's a little bit of a cop-out. And, this is the exact time when you're going to get people start making big brain moves, which ends up being, hey, I'm going to blindside someone in an alliance that I just made just for the sake of doing it because, there's 12 people left and that's basically the end of the game and everyone's going to care about this one move at final 12. So someone's going to do something stupid and it's not going to be Say, but it probably should be Say.
I'm going to go. So next time on Survivor is the tease is it seems like we're getting set up for maybe Camilla and Kyle to turn on Shaheen. So I'm going to say that doesn't happen and they're going to stick together. Who's the one person who wasn't in on this vote fully? Mitch. I'm going to say Mitch goes next, especially because he has an advantage.
I said Say as well, but I'm including a second name because at this point, it does seem like I'm locked on Say leaving every single week. I'm going to go Chrissy, who is someone who is in Mitch's alliance with Cedric, but I think that those 3 are on tenuous ground, and there are a lot of bridges back and forth between the people that aren't in that grouping of 3. And Chrissy will be another fairly easy consensus vote that will weaken Siva just a hair further, bring him at least down to the same level as Lagi, and then the game will open up a little bit more. So I'm saying Say, but I'm also throwing out Chrissy because otherwise, what am I even talking about here?
But Say is number 1.
Say is number 1.
Okay. We're now into the phase of the game with Who Can't Win, where we pick 2 people. Because if we have a final 3, there's 2 people who can't win in this whole motley crew. Who are those people? One of them would have been Charity for me, but she's gone. But if she'd survived this vote, it would have been Charity and Say. Obviously, Say is number 1, but I'm going to keep Cedric there. I think he's well-liked, but he's got a terrible physical and strategic game, and there isn't anyone else who seems not liked. So for now, I'm going to keep Cedric and Say as my bottom 2, and if we have a surprise final 2, Cedric defeats Say.
My number 1 can't win the game is Say. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that she's already lost the game. My number 2 is also Cedric. Chrissy is my 3rd from the bottom, just because we haven't seen a lot from her gameplay-wise. In a final 3, I think Chrissy would win just because of her Siva connections and seems to be generally well-liked by everyone, except Say. So I'm going to go with Say and Cedric.
I'm also going Say and Cedric. It's the boring one, I think, just because we've talked about the 2 of them the most in the last few episodes. I will say I think that Star would have been the second person, if not for, a pretty decent episode here. But, that it's kind of a carryover from her finally doing something last episode and making at least some sort of move, whether you think it's right or wrong, with giving Eva the idol. So, we're finally getting a little bit more Star, and that's going to save her from being one of my 2 can't wins.
And to go back to Star's move about giving the idol, I think going through after this episode, I think we can safely say she made the right move. I think I'm gonna lock that in, confirm. Yeah, she made a great move and get rid of that idol.
Didn't you disagree with me during the episode on that?
No, I thought it was the right move, but definitely worthy of discussion. And I think we can lock it in that this was a good move.
I was fairly against you, Josh, on whether or not I thought it was a good move. I said no. I'm still not convinced that it was a good move because I think Star still needs to do a lot to make it so that she can win against more people than just Cedric and Say and Chrissy. I think she's a 4th from the bottom right now. And with an idol, you can do something with it. That said, I'm not going to say it was a bad move. I just think there may have been a better one.
All right, last thing we got to do is checking in the Survivor pool. Josh, how did it go?
Well, as a reminder, the 2 of you both picked Eva last week, so you guys are both safe. Also, you guys both had not picked Charity yet. So Charity is gone off the board for both of you.
Can you blame us?
Now, before moving on, we have one new person that's going to the graveyard.
Rest in peace.
I think they even said charity, risky pick.
Yep. So Jacob from Spotify picked charity. Rest in peace.
Good game, sir. Play with us again next season.
Absolutely.
This is fun. Thanks for playing. Okay, Derek, we're still alive. Who are you going with in your survivor pool this week?
I am counting on the Meat Swing, Honor, Integrity, Milkman Alliance to at least make it one vote. I don't know how long he's going to be usable, but I'm going to go with David today.
Okay. I was kind of thinking along similar lines. I'm going to follow Hubicki's law.
Theory.
The law of Christian Hubicki.
Hypothesis.
The law and order of Christian Hubicki, where what we are shown and told in the next 2 months Survivor, 90% of the time that is not going to happen. So I'm gonna take the law at the word of Christian Hubicki, the book of law, and I'm gonna go Shaheen because he is said by name that he's gonna get framed. So I'm gonna go with the 90% chance that he does not go out of this game, and I'm gonna take Shaheen.
All right. Interesting.
Now with my luck, it'll be the 10%. And I'll be out here, but I'm gonna go for it because I've used everybody up who has an advantage at this point. So
I think you're safe. I think that group makes way too much sense to have, honestly, a few episodes together. So I think you're good.
Fingers crossed. I don't want David to go, but hopefully David goes.
For the sake of Ryan's game.
Yes. All right. This is a fun one, guys.
Mhm.
A little nonsense. We got some milk. We got some chili. We got some nonsense. What else do you need in this Survivor podcast?
That's really it.
Yeah, well, and we were watching this separately. So I ended up driving to Ryan's place later. I had some things I needed to do at my house while I watched Survivor. My 3-year-old was there while we were watching Survivor, and he had some thoughts.
Okay.
He said, everybody has things they can do. They can play. They can go potty. They can make food. They can play. That is a quote straight from the mouth of my 3-year-old while Survivor was playing in the background. And you know what? I thought to myself, that's actually kind of poignant when you're talking about the game of Survivor, because you know what? Everybody has things they can do.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
They can play. They can go potty. They can make food. They can play.
All true. All very
Sounds
true.
like a final tribal council speech to me.
Yeah.
I think he just won Survivor 60. You know what I'm saying? And then
try like 80.
Yeah.
And because I try to be better, last week I believe that I said duplicitous on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. I thought you did that intentionally.
No, it is duplicitous. It's a word that I read more than I hear, and my brain always pronounces it duplicitous, but I'm correcting it, and I'm trying to unlearn and cement here that it is duplicitous. Duplicitous.
What an idiot.
I should have thought you were being funny and just like mispronouncing the word on purpose.
No, this is just one of those things where, again, I read it more than I hear it, and
I'm going to start saying duplicitous to try and sabotage Derek. I'm not thinking it is
The
duplicitous.
joke's going to be on you because you're going to be 85 years old convinced that you're right and that it's duplicitous.
Who cares? I'll be 85.
You're right. Okay, Grandpa. Yeah, let's
give him a meds.
Let's go to bed.
All right, guys, this is a fun one. Social media.
Yeah, you can follow us on all the social medias at Castaway Pod. If you want to watch some videos, we have YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok at Castaway Consultants, and our website, which is thecastawayconsultants.com.
And if you want, obviously, go out on Spotify. Our question of the week is, what is your opinion on chili? How do you feel about white chili versus red chili, sweet chili? Just tell your chili story. Have you ever been to Chile? You know, whatever it is.
How about Chili's the restaurant?
Chili's the baby back ribs. I want my baby back.
Let's chill out with some chili, guys.
Yes, but if you want to also chime in with maybe who your 2 can't win players are as well at this point in the game, please do so. And then if you're still in on the pool, make sure you give the responses on social media or on Spotify, and we'll get you back into that template that we're keeping.
Yeah, and for people who have been around for a little bit, you'll know, maybe, that next week some rank downs might be coming back.
Rank
So
downs,
be
jank
ready for
downs,
that.
dank downs, and lank downs.
And
Can't
we are
wait.
going to be asking for some listener link downs.
Can't wait. Yeah, we start that when the jury starts, so that'll be next week probably.
We'll keep you.
I guess it's possible it might not, but that's coming up. All right, this has been the Castaway Consultants.
Got nothing else for you.
Good night.